Sometimes it seems that there is a thin line between wants and needs. Things that we want, things that we desire, would like to have, and things that we need. But the reality is we often convolute and we often confuse the two together and mix up things that are needs versus things that are wants. And if we can be honest, there isn't much or anything that we actually need, because God promised to supply all our needs. So there's not much or there's nothing that we need. Most often we're talking about things that we want, things we desire, or things we like to have. But as I started to think about needs and wants, and as it pertains to the video for today, I want to talk about it in a different basis. From a standpoint of wants and needs not being different, but being relative. How they work together. And specifically, talking about if there are things that you want, to understand the things that you need to do to accomplish it. So that's the correlation I want to draw today between things that we want and the needs. So here's a couple of examples. If you want to make the honor roll, then you need to study more, work harder, pay attention more in class, and so forth. If you want to be a successful athlete, then you need to work out more, work harder, study your playbook, and so forth. Understand the game that you're participating in. If you want to be successful in ministry, then you need to walk in a way that others will be drawn to you. Live a life that's pleasing in God's sight so others can see the God in you. If you want to lose weight, then you need to eat better, exercise, and do the things that are required to accomplish those goals. So anything that you want, there is a need sort of that underlies it. And if you don't accomplish those things that you want, it's primarily because you haven't done what you need to do. So my first point is simple. My first point is this. For the things that you want, the things that you desire, then you have to understand the requirements to obtain them. As I said, there are things that you need to do to accomplish this. I'll give you an example. If you are a student going back to school, maybe you already have your bachelor's and you want to go back to school to get a master's. Could be in the MDiv, master's in social work, MBA, whatever it may be. Well, you don't just go back to school. You don't just enroll in classes and take English 101 or, math 101. Those are classes you should have already passed and taken in your undergrad program. You have to understand the requirements to obtain that master's degree. So you go meet with a counselor, or you go take a look online, see the core courses, see what's required of you, and you enroll in those classes. Or if you're unemployed or maybe underemployed and you're looking for a job, you take a look at the job, but one of the things you look at are the job requirements. So you look at the summary. If it's a position you like, think you can apply for it. Your next step is the requirements. See what's required of you to function and to even accomplish the goal of obtaining this job. So that's just it. The first point is, if there's anything that you want or desire, you have to know the requirements to accomplish it. The second point, after you know the requirements, you have to be willing to make sacrifices to accomplish those things. So whatever's required of you, you got to take a look at those things and say, you know what? Here's what I can do. Here's what I already have. Here's what I already do. But there's some gaps, some things that I'm not able to do right now. And you got to make the necessary sacrifices to get there. You got to meet that need, meet that requirement by sacrificing things that don't steer you in that right path. If we can be honest, we can set goals all day long, but until we walk in a way that's going to allow us to accomplish those goals and create a plan to go get them and alleviate the things and make the sacrifices of the things that aren't taking us on that path, more than likely, we'll never accomplish those goals. We'll continue to say we want, but we'll never follow through with it. My third and final point is, after we understand the requirements to accomplish those goals or to get those desires or the things that we want, and after we make the sacrifices needed to accomplish them, we have to be realistic and we have to recognize that everything ain't for everybody. So there are going to be some things that we really want, things that we really desire, that just aren't for us. Not God's anointing for our lives. Things that he hasn't ordained for us. And then when you recognize that, you can walk away from those things with your head up and recognizing that this may not be for me, and this person may not even be for me, but I'm excited about what God does have for me. I'll give you a personal example. When I was a young man, when I was in everywhere from yay high on up, all I wanted was to be a professional football player. Didn't matter what team. Now, of course, being a Cleveland Browns and Philadelphia Eagles fan, I would have loved to play for one of those two teams, one of my hometown teams, if you will. But it didn't happen. When I walked away from football at the University of Pittsburgh, I realized that this wasn't what God had for me. And as much as it hurt, as much as it was painful from a standpoint of I didn't accomplish a goal, it wasn't what God had for me. So I could walk away with my chest out, my head up, realizing that, you know what, this wasn't in his plans for me, but something is, and whatever it is, because I don't know right now, I'm excited about it. As you want and desire things, there are some things that you, of course, need to go alongside that with. First and foremost is understanding requirements to accomplish those things. So whatever you want, there are requirements to this. Second thing is you will need to make sacrifices to get the things that you want. And then lastly, you have to be realistic and you have to understand that as much as I may want it, as much as I may desire it, it just may not be for me. But whatever is for me is coming down the pipe. And I need to be excited. I need to be ready to be prepared to receive it.